A strong earthquake occurred in Japan, and Wajima City in Ishikawa Prefecture was badly damaged. The image shows the collapse of local residents' houses. Related Press Japan, which has experienced many major earthquake disasters, continues to strengthen the earthquake-resistant capabilities of local buildings and educate the public on disaster prevention drills based on past experiences, in the hope of reducing the loss of life and property caused by earthquakes. The New York Times reports that Japan is located on the seismically active Pacific Ring of Fire. Due to the frequent occurrence of large earthquakes and tsunamis in the country, this frequency allowed Japan to find a way to make its household buildings the largest in the world over the past 100 years. One of the earthquake-resistant buildings. Investments, government decisions, and a local engineering culture highly sensitive to seismic risks have helped Japan save lives during devastating earthquakes and implement new protective measures after each earthquake. After a strong earthquake, the wall of a commercial building collapsed in Kaga City, Ishikawa Prefecture. Reuters, for example, after the Mino-Owari earthquake in the late 19th century and the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923, which claimed more than 140,000 lives, Japan actively researched stronger buildings and introduced new construction standards. Following for decades, each major earthquake has prompted authorities to take steps to further improve practices and regulations. Japanese authorities are still assessing the extent of damage following the earthquake in Ishikawa Prefecture on June 1, with the Japanese Broadcasting Association (NHK) reporting that local firefighting units had received reports of several houses collapsing and people being trapped. After the Great Hanshin earthquake in 1995, which killed 6,000 people, Japan invested billions of dollars in technological research to create safer building structures and make the country's older buildings more stable. In 2011, a magnitude 8.9 earthquake struck the coast, northeastern Japan, and at the time of the massive tsunami and nuclear disaster at the Fukushima power plant, many buildings had been protected with safety measures such as additional steel supports, rubber mats, and hydraulic shock absorbers. Japan sent 10,000 military troops to help with rescue and relief efforts after a devastating earthquake on the west coast on New Year's Day left at least 55 people dead and dozens injured. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said Tuesday that authorities were fighting against time to respond to the emergency, as daylight and the lifting of a tsunami warning the night before provided a more complete picture of the devastation. We will continue our efforts from last night to ensure that we can deliver the necessary supplies and personnel to the region by fully deploying not only land transportation but also routes by air and sea, Kishida said. Rescue teams are searching for survivors in a collapsed 7-story building, as well as in the remains of more than 100 houses that burned after the earthquake and aftershocks. Their efforts were hampered by severe damage to roads and other infrastructure, especially in the worst-hit areas of the Noto Peninsula in central Japan. Officials in Ishikawa Prefecture, the hardest hit, said 55 people had died. Of those, 20 deaths were reported in the city of Suzu, while another 24 occurred in the city of Wajima, where a large fire broke out at a market popular with tourists. Our city is in a state of disaster, said Masahiro Izumiya, mayor of Suzu. Water and electricity have been cut across the region and we fear this situation will last for a long time.